So Brad got to see Elton this past Saturday. Tell me about it, Brad.
Well, it was absolutely incredible. It was a birthday present for my wife, long overdue. It's been on a 2-year delay because of COVID. And this is his farewell concert tour. In fact, I think they call it Goodbye
Yellow Brick Road. Yeah, exactly.
It was amazing. Unfortunately, you can see he's aged. I believe he's 75, but I'm telling you what, they can still rock. It was incredible.
Wow. What city did you see him in?
We were in Milwaukee at the Fiserv Forum.
That's so cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. Have you ever noticed? I mean, it's interesting that Elton can play the piano as well as he does. If you'll notice, if you look at his hands, he has really stubby little fingers. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but his hands are like little stubby fingers, and it's like, man, he could just kill that piano. Just very very amazing. Yeah, he's my favorite. He's definitely my favorite. So awesome. Well, welcome in everybody. This is kind of weird being here on a Friday, but I appreciate your letting me come in on Friday instead of yesterday. Had a crazy thing. I've been working out at the gym every day, doing the thing. And then, with the neuropathy that's in my foot, I can't feel that a blister developed. So I had to go back to my doctor, my podiatrist. And, I hadn't seen him since 2020, since he took my toe off. And I'm like, look, dude, you didn't send me flowers. You didn't send me card. You didn't write. You take my toe off and just leave me. So we had a good laugh over that. But all's going to be well. I just got to wear a boot for a couple of weeks and it should heal just fine. So I don't want any more toes taken off. That's terrible. Because when you go swimming, you're missing a toe. It's like you swim around in circles all the time. So it's terrible. But this is the matching toe on the other foot. So if it had to come off, I guess at least I could swim in a straight line again. Anyway, so welcome in, everybody. Hey, Doug, I really liked what you said in your little thing. I can't remember what it was. Your last assignment. Can you pull it up? Doug, are you there?
I'm here, Bobby. I'm driving down the road.
Hold on a minute. Let's see if I can pull it up, Doug. Where are you at, Doug?
I'm somewhere between Richmond, Indiana, and Indianapolis.
Wow. Let's see if I can pull it in. I reset my I reset all of my, or I deleted my cookies, and now I can't get anything. Hold on a second, see if I can get into my.
I mean, I can kind of remember what I wrote.
It was really good.
Well, thank you. And I'll credit my father for this. I mean, he really drilled into me index fund investing, and the fact that, if a team of Harvard MBAs can't beat index funds consistently, why would you pay for their services? Just invest in the index funds. Clearly, we've been reading Bogle's book over the last couple of weeks. I finished it on my cruise last week, and it just reinforced my belief. I mean, there's tons of data that just shows that these managed funds don't beat them. And I feel like we've been looking for different ways to either beat the market or have additional safety. And I'm just done looking for it. I'm good with performing at the level that the market performs at.
And nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, so, and that's kind of what we said in the course. I mean, you guys in the first week, you got the course. I mean, you know what to do. You find you a low cost, general market fund. Here's what you said. Look, let's see. You are very confident you will not have luck beating the market. You're happy to perform with the market, minimize your expenses to make sure to keep getting the returns. You talked about the all-weather portfolio is way too conservative for you at the point in your life, right? But I wanted to introduce it because you will have clients, right, that are retired or, nearing retirement, and they want to be more conservative. And so everybody thinks we get, better if the more diversification that we get, even though my contention is diversification is overrated. So you've read the suggestions using the portfolio in retirement to be more conservative. Your plan at this point is to stay almost 100% in the S&P throughout retirement. Your goal is to have a big enough cushion to be able to weather any black swan events without feeling the need to change your allocation. Let's see, if they were truly the holy grail of safety and performance, I would imagine more money managers will be implementing these portfolios. All the data in Bogle's book really reinforce why overcomplicating your portfolio. Buy index funds, keep costs low, be satisfied with market returns. Then you talked about Bono's U2. So you want to talk about that? I like that. Bono's
Oh,
U2,
I was
man,
just trying to add a musical reference, right? So
U2. I still
Bono,
haven't found, yeah.
he hasn't found what he's looking for, and then the song One Love. So my one love is, I guess, Vanguard's S&P 500 fund.
Yeah, I like that. You still haven't found what you're looking for. So you're pretty proud of yourself. I would just stick with my boring Vanguard S&P 500 index fund. And that is beautiful. You wrote that beautifully, Doug. So I just wanted to commend you on that. It was really, really good. And I mean, that's the key. That's the key, right? All this other stuff that we're showing you, and we're showing you different things, to think about and to challenge your preconceived notions of what investing is. But overall, it's just find a good, stock fund that gets you diversification to 500 stocks, or you could do an all market fund. If you need to add a little touch of bonds in there, do it, and then just sit back and enjoy the ride. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Any comments by anyone else about anything in the course? Any questions, any comments about anything so far?
I've learned nothing's more efficient and requires less time commitment than index funds also.
Yeah. And isn't it great, Beth, because you'll be able to sit back, enjoy your life. You don't have to sit behind a screen all day for hours on hours looking at different things and trying different things. It's just it's the thing of making it automatic, just automatically putting money in the market.
Just to play devil's advocate here,
Yes, sir.
when you're sitting across a table from clients, doesn't matter what their age is, whether they're pre-retirees or they're 75, not everybody can take the risk of the overall market in the S&P. So and not everybody needs that amount of risk either. So it's sometimes our job to figure out how do we get them to still stay invested in a way that they're comfortable with, because what's their alternative? Sitting all in cash, which may hurt their financial plan, or may not allow them to stay retired. They might run out of money. So it's kind of a fine line we have to walk as an advisor. What's the appropriate level of risk that they're actually comfortable with? How much return do they actually need? And then how do we line those up and help them get from point A to point B?
Yeah, because there's, you got to think about what phase that someone is in their life, right? So there's 3 phases that, as far as I consider, now this may be different than what a textbook would give you, but let's look at the phases of your life. So generally your phases are, my whiteboard open up here. So you or your client is going to be in a couple of different stages of wealth building. And so the first one is accumulation, right? Accumulation. We are accumulating our wealth. We're building. Then there is, what's the next one? What would someone say the next one is? Anybody? You accumulate your wealth, then what do you want to do to your wealth?
Take it out.
What was it, Brad?
You want to start taking it out.
Well, yeah, but after you accumulate it, not necessarily take it out. You want to preservation, right? And that is, you want to live on it while also taking withdrawals, right? You want to live, preserve it, take some out, but you want that big old thing to go there. So maybe you're using it for income, but you want to preserve your balance. You don't want to, major swings in it. So we realize that as well, right? Now, what's the final phase? Anybody know? According to old Bobby here.
Passing it on.
Distribution, baby. That's it. Distribution. So we accumulate all this wealth, then we got to preserve it while also living on it. And then your final thing that we don't like to talk about is distribution. You know, how will we distribute this to charities or to our heirs? So 3 different places. So most of what we've been talking about in our class is accumulation, right? And just like Eric said, yeah, there's going to be some of your clients that are going to be in a state of preserving them. So my mother is retired now. Well, she's retired, but then she went back to work because mama just loves working. So she's working 3 days a week. But I would not have my mama in an all market or a total S&P 500 fund, right? I'm not going to have her totally in that. We want mama to be getting some income. You know, this is where, you remember I told you that dividend stocks, I don't like dividend stocks because, you know, they don't grow. But for someone that's in that retirement mode, who's saying, hey, I want something, you know, stable, doesn't move a lot, and wants to live on dividends, I could absolutely see something like that, right? That you're in dividend stocks because they're paying income. And, you know, maybe I've got her in Southern Company, right? You know, we got her, you know, in the utilities. You know, she's in maybe some railroads. You know, she's collecting dividends to live on while, you know, her capital is we're preserving that and preserving mama, so mama can pass her wealth on to little Bobby, you know, one day. So I'll take care of it. That's why I told mama, I said, it's good that you're working, mama, because you're not eating into my inheritance. And she's like, screw your inheritance, Bobby. So yeah, I mean, so there are other things, but for those of you that are in the accumulation stage, you got, you know, several years to retirement. I would say, you know, the ability to put yourself into something that is, you know, going for market returns and you know, holding on for the ride is probably good. Now, I would say, Eric, at the same time, hopefully you're not, you know, you wouldn't want your people who are coming to you at retirement age, I wouldn't put them in, you know, 20 different asset classes. I mean, I wouldn't try to overcomplicate that, right? And maybe you can speak to us about that and how you handle that. I mean, you're actually in the business of doing that with people.
Yeah, I mean, well, it kind of goes back to what I said as far as how much risk do they actually need. So, I mean, the way that I run my practice, I build out a financial plan for people first and figure out, okay, based on their current allocation, where are they at, where should they be? You know, hey, if you've got a great pension and Social Security and your income needs are met and you're never going to have to worry about running out of money, okay, if you want to take a lot of risk, you can take a lot of risk. But if you freak out because the market's down, you know, the S&P's down 0.5% today, then, you know, that's maybe you don't need the risk. So why take it? Sleep better at night if you put it in a, you know, something where, whether it's some municipal bond fund where you're just picking up a nice little yield, which again, I'm not saying I necessarily love the bond market right now. But, you know, there's a lot of different products out there too that some offer. Actually, I kind of always wanted to ask you about this just because it ties back into the last class, which I was watching the video. I wasn't able to be on it. But, you know, as far as what products we can offer and everything. So I worked at a large bank before. So again, we can only offer, here's these funds, here's these couple annuities. This is, you know, this is what you can offer and that's it. So I'm independent now. So I have a lot more access to stuff that's out there. And my partners and I, we do run a lot of model portfolios. So everything's not all invested in one account. Everyone has their own account, but maybe we use a model portfolio. So we're making the same changes across each account. But one product that I've been using a little bit more often lately that I couldn't use before are structured notes, which again, it's essentially building out a lot of these option strategies without having to build them out yourself. You know, the financial institutions use them. So I didn't know if you had any experience with structured notes, or I just wanted to kind of, if you did, what are your thoughts? I don't know.
No, I don't have any experience with that at all.
Okay. Because I mean, some of them, it's interesting because you look at them and they change every month because obviously they're based on the options markets. So just as an example, it might be like a 5-year note. It trades like a bond. on the ups, it's tied to a few different indexes, whether it's the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Russell. And on the upside, it's leverage times, say, 1.5 times the return. And then on the downside, it might have like a 40% barrier. So as long as none of those are down more than 40% of maturity, you don't lose anything. And again, on the upside, you get 1.5 times the leverage. So I was just always curious because it's options that are packaged together, but I didn't know how do you actually make those things,
Yeah, and there are funds out there too that actually perform different option strategies as well. Like there are some put selling ones. There are some covered call funds out there. I think let's see, QYLT, I believe is a ticker that you can trade that actually is kind of has. No, don't quote me on it, but I think QYLD is something like that has, let's see, what is QYLD? Before I talk about it too much, but yeah, there are funds and tickers out there that do, different things. QYLD, which is I think a dividend. Yeah, covered call. Here it is. Global X NASDAQ 100 covered call ETF. So there's all different kind of things that you can do out there. For example, if you don't want to do covered calls, right, you could buy a fund or a ticker that's what they do. They do the covered calls. I always like doing my options trades myself. Here's what I do. I come in every day. I do my options trades. It takes me a few minutes and then I finish. And it's fun and engagement for me. But remember, you guys, really the simple way is to find a fund, do a stock bond thing and basically be done with it. Keep your costs low. That's what I was talking about my trainer the other day. She's like, yeah, my guy told me to get into this. It's a little more aggressive. And I said, what's your fees in that? Do you know what fees that you're paying? Because I have no idea. And so we got to be careful because a lot of people will steer you toward things that helps them to get the maximum fee. And she says, well, we need to look at that. I'm like, yeah, we do. And people don't look at that. We also talked last time, Eric, can you imagine if they took the 7.65% out of our checks, our paycheck that we put into Social Security Trust Fund, and then the 7.65% that our employers match, which is 15.3%. Can you imagine if they put that 15.3% in S&P 500? Can you imagine over time what wealth could be accumulated in this country? And you would have a bazooka of millionaires everywhere. Now, what might that do? It may make us all, it may make inflation go up if everybody was millionaires in the United States, prices would go up. Who knows? But you imagine, because they're working now on some changes to the 401k right now. I was reading something about it the other day, the easiest thing that it would do would be this. Your 401k money that you put in automatically goes into a low cost S&P 500 or all market fund, unless you dictate otherwise. Boy, that would be great, right? So people could say, okay, to at least, because when you start off with Social Security coming out of your check, wouldn't it have been great to say that's when we're going to start this, right? So that anyone else coming up into a 401k, your money automatically goes into X unless you dictate otherwise. Now, God, I don't know. That would probably perturb so many financial advisors out there that they would just flip. But oh my gosh, at the wealth it would create over a lifetime if someone would just do that. When you first start having money taken out of your account. And that's why if you've got kids or grandkids that are coming up, make sure when they get that job, that first job, that they start toward their investment. Go ahead and have it automatically taken from your bank account, your paycheck, and deposit it so that you get the long-term benefits of being invested. And it'll just change. It could change family trees if folks would do that. Any other comments or questions at all?
Hey, Bobby, I was
Hey,
wondering.
Bobby, go ahead.
Sorry. Bobby, I was wondering, did you just see, and I don't know, Eric, if you've been watching this being in the business, but it looks like they just passed that RMDs are going to be changing also from 72, which was just done, I think, 3 years ago, up to 75 now. It just has to pass one more vote and it'll be through. So that's going to change the whole, issue of when you take money out. We're talking about distributing and families and things like that. So that's just another layer that we have to look at.
Yeah, I did read that. Eric, you have anything on that?
I'm not really. I saw that I think it had gone through the House, but it's got to go through the Senate now or something. And I don't know if it'll be that much of a change really when they changed the Secure Act back in like 2018. I think that's what moved it from 70.5 to 72. I mean, for most people, either they're already drawing because they need the money or they don't need the money and they have to start drawing. So again, as a good advisor, you should be talking about Roth conversions and things before that. So you can decrease the amount of minimum distributions, move stuff into Roths, get that money growing tax-free.
And I would say it's not even, you should be talking about it now with it moving to 75, the percentages increase because it's based upon life expectancy, the RMDs are, so you're going to have to take out substantially more money. So you should be looking at those Roth conversions as soon as they can possibly start doing that.
Talking about life expectancies, and I was reading an article yesterday that life expectancies are going way down, a large part because of the COVID, right? That has taken out a lot of people. So
What's that?
life expectancies.
Oh, yeah. I just typed from my heart and just, so this is,
Catherine, are you talking to us?
I'm so sorry. My apologies.
No, I was thought we was fixing to get something really good because Catherine's like, I'm typing from my heart. I mean, Catherine is like, is
I
Catherine
know,
on
I'm
that?
so sorry.
No, it's kind of fun. I was like, hey, this is great. I mean, we're about to get something really good.
I was typing from my heart though.
Hey, we were like, screw this investment stuff. I want to know what Catherine's talking about.
Oh, I don't think you do.
Maybe you were setting up an online dating profile or something.
Oh, I wish it was that exciting. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No,
My apologies.
that was good. Yeah, we'll take that anytime. Yeah, break up the ice a little bit. All right. Somebody else had a comment or a question?
Hey, it was me, Doug. I mean, we were just kind of talking about, if you got clients that are more conservative or different phases of their life, and you guys threw out a couple different strategies. I'll just go back to the fact I feel like we're overcomplicating things again if we're trying to seek out dividend funds or do other things. I mean, I feel like the last two books laid it out pretty in an easy format where it's either a total market fund or an S&P 500 index fund. And then they both referenced, and I forget what the bond fund they referenced was, but I mean, just change your allocations between those two asset classes. And I think it's pretty simple and clients will understand it.
Yeah, I agree in a large part to that. You got to make these people, I guess, happy, right? And that's why I don't like the financial advisor arena so much, right? Because we talked about that last time. When I do my hedge fund, I'm basically like, look, here's what I do. Y'all want in my pool? You don't go swimming with me, and I don't care what they, what their, risk tolerance is. I go, here's what I do. Here's the risk we take. Blah blah blah. Do you want in my pool? And so instead of me having to design something for, this person and this person and this person, which just seems like so much work. But I understand that y'all do it and that y'all are great at it. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I'd rather say, look, here's my pool. Y'all want to jump in with me? And then rather than saying, okay, I'm gonna design something for you. But yeah, the tendency is, right, we're always going to look for something else. And it's called the shiny object syndrome, right? So here's the problem. We have a shiny object. Does that have an E or not? Shiny. How do you spell shiny? Shiny object syndrome. And for somebody like me that is eat up with the ADHD and takes Adderall and all this kind of stuff, that I have to watch this a lot because I'll go, oh, wow, I'm doing, the wheel, or I'm doing this. And then someone comes along and says, hey, have you heard about the blah, 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 blah? And then I'm like, well, screw that. Let's go look at this. And then you'll start chasing, performance chasing. And it's really really, really just tiring, chasing so many different things on how to make money. Just do the simple thing. Yeah, I agree with you so much. Do the simple thing, go with it. Any other comments or questions? Beth said KISS now means keep it successfully simple. I like that. Just keep it simple. Just keep it simple. All right, so let's go into your final exam. And I need to look at the calendar because we're coming up close, aren't we? I think we got 15 weeks in the course. We're in week 13. So y'all start working on this, but I want to make sure everybody saw this. I put this in your course content under week 13, right? So we've talked about the Ray Dalio all-weather portfolio. Here's the example of the investment plan. Now, I know you're probably going to want rubrics and all kind of, oh, you got to do this. You are to prepare a 1 page. Don't put it on 2. Now, don't increase your page to 11 by 14 or something like that either. Just do it on 8.5 by 11. Prepare a 1 page personal investment plan because, as Beth said, keep it successfully simple. Just simple. We want this to be simple. I use Canva. Now, you don't have to have all these nice little colors, and you don't have to have all these stuff but I just want you to come up with your investment plan, not to plan for your clients, not to plan for your mama. What is your investment plan? I'd like to know, what's your philosophy? Bobby's a long-termer, even though I'm 51, hey, I'm long-term, baby. I'm still long-term. What's my risk tolerance? I fear nothing. I have no fear. I am full throttle, baby. What's my asset allocation? Most of it is just about everything that I do. Even my options trades and all the funky stuff that I do is S&P 500 oriented. And how did I contribute over my, my earning years? Here's how I did it. This is part of the 10%, 10%, 10%, 70% I gave you in the first of the course, right? Give away 10, save 10, invest 10. Now, when you save enough 10s that you got 20, 40,000, whatever your 6 months of expenses are, then put that 10% that you were saving, that you no longer need to save again. You can put that into your investments and pop that up to 20, and then live on 70%. So I was fortunate in my 401k that I got matched 3% dollar per dollar for the first 100%. Then I got 2% match on the next 50%, but it was automatically. So that when they would call me in the office and said, hey, little Bobby, we're going to give you a raise because you did so well, or I got that cost of living in January, then I didn't have to worry about it because it automatically upped my contributions because I was doing it as a percent of my gross salary. Lisa has a meeting at 1 o'clock. Lisa's got to go. All right. So then rebalance and review. If I was in one thing, I didn't have to rebalance, right? Because it was in one thing. But review it annually. How are you doing? And probably, I don't know that I reviewed it annually because I would hear about the market crashing, the markets, think about it. I went through the 2008 dilemma and all that stuff, and I didn't do anything else. Then I just kept on going. So what's your objective? Your objective may be to buy a bass boat, in 2 years. Or to buy a condo on the beach. I don't know it doesn't have to be retirement. And my retirement at age 51, it didn't start off there. It started off, I want to be like everybody else and retire at 65. So how did I do it? Well, primarily I did this in a thrift savings plan with the government. And I, put in money and did this. So use your imagination, but make it simple to follow. I want you to be able to post this on your bathroom mirror or on your refrigerator. Have fun with this. Make it a useful tool to guide you in your investment journey. So it's yours. It doesn't have to look like mine. Doesn't have to have colors. You can do it in handwriting if you want to. But I want you to take this and promise me that you're going to put it on your bathroom mirror. You're going to put it beside your bed. Laminate. That's what you do. Laminate it. Go buy Kinko's. Do they have still Kinko's and all that stuff? Or at your work, if you got a laminator, laminate the thing. Put it on your refrigerator, something to look at. So you go, man, and maybe, put you a picture in here of what your retirement looks like, or your condo, or your bass boat. What's your objective? What's your goal? What are you going to do here? Right. So, I got this personal trainer now. So here's what my goal is. Ready? I told her, she says, what do you want to get out of this? And here's what I said. I want to go I said, I want to look like Hugh Jackman when he was working out for Wolverine. Let's see if we look at it. I said, oh yeah, here I am, baby. I said, there's Bobby. She said, I said, it took him 27 weeks to get into that that kind of condition. I said, I'm giving you 30 on me since I'm a little more out of shape. You can imagine she laughed and said, I think it's going to take a little bit more than 30. So maybe, you know, on my workout thing, I could put, you know, a picture of Hugh Jackman. I said, this is Bobby. This is what I'm aiming for. Now I know I'll never attain that, but it's kind of a funny, right? So, you know, but whatever you put to get your goal, what's going to get you there? I want you to do something that's going to get you to your goal, and just keep it simple. One page, baby. That's all it needs to do. And hopefully, Eric, you know, wouldn't it be cool if you could do this for your clients as well, right? I mean, just simple. Give them a one page, you know, because we think we got to cover. I don't know, you got to give them the 20-page, whatever, you know, you got to give them that. But if you could all just boil it down into one page, okay, here's your plan, baby. Here's what we do. Here's what your philosophy is. You've told me. Here's what your risk tolerance is. So we're going to put you in an asset allocation. You go, I can't fit the asset allocation into this, right? I can't fit it into that box. Well, you probably got too many assets. You probably allocated too much if you can't fit it in this box. How are they going to contribute? And how are we going to then review and rebalance your portfolio? So keep it just really, really simple. Anyone looking at this go, Bobby, you clearly left something out. You've left something out that we need to consider. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Eric, if we left anything out that someone would need in their investment plan, feel free to critique.
I think you got everything in there.
Yeah, and just keep it simple. Put it on your refrigerator, you know? Those of y'all that are single and you're dating somebody, can you imagine when you got your person coming over and they're sitting there thinking, oh man, what kind of person is this I'm dating? And y'all are sitting there watching Breaking Bad on Netflix, and they go to your refrigerator to get the margarine out as y'all are sitting there doing whatever you do with margarine. So many thoughts come to mind. You know, you got your investment plan up on the refrigerator, you know, and they're going, oh my gosh. Wow, does Bob have it worked out here? Look at this. He's got his investment plan here. Cha-ching. I mean, you think that's not going to make you more attractive to the person you're dating? Oh my gosh. So you know, all kind of things that you could do with this. It's just really good. Do this for your parents. Do this for your children. You know, come up with your little investment plan. Be really, really, really cool. All right. Any other comments before we get into new stuff? New stuff today. All right. What do you do if you got a small account and you can't do covered calls? Wow. Have y'all ever heard of this? Now, I don't want to insult anybody by this name, and I really don't like this name at all. Have y'all ever heard of this? Have y'all ever heard of a poor man's covered call? Who's heard of that? Anybody? So one of the problems with doing a covered call is you got to buy 100 shares of stock. Well, if you're going to do a covered call into SPY, well, what's SPY trading? So if we're going to do covered call into SPY, SPY's trading $448. So to get 100 shares of that, that's going to be $44,000. Well, what if you don't have $44,000 in your account? You can't run that. Okay, is there another way that we could do that? Perhaps. So let me show you another way to do this. This is called a poor man's covered call. Ready? And it's just something I wanted to introduce you to so that you'll know how to do it in case you ever hear it brought up. Poor man's covered call. So what I would do is what you're going to do is you're going to buy a LEAPS. Let's go look it up. I forget what it stands for. LEAPS option. So what is a LEAPS? It's a let's see, a LEAPS is let's see, this is a long something, blah 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 blah. Long-term equity appreciation securities. That's what it is. Long-term equity anticipation securities. LEAPS. LEAPS. All right. And all it is a long-dated option, is all it is. So let's say that we go out over a year, right? So here's 357 days, here's 434 days, all right? So let's say that we buy a deep in the money call, all right, deep in the money call. So what I mean in the money call, well, if the price of SPY is at 448, right here at 445, 450, this is where the price is, and I'm buying an in the money call, that means that the price is already above the strike price, right? So if we went down and we bought something that had a in the money probability of maybe 70%, which is says an 82 delta, then we could buy. Now, am I going to buy on the bid or buy on the ask? Someone tell me. Buy on the bid or buy on the ask?
To ask.
Ask. Good, Eric. So I'm going to buy on the ask, right? So I'm going to buy a long dated option. Now, how much is that going to cost me? Does anybody know? It's going to cost me $119 times 12. So it's your max loss here, right? It's going to cost me $11,916. So the cool part is that now I control SPY for 434 days by buying an option. So my max loss is the cost of the option that has a 434-day expiration. Well, let's see what that looks like on the curve here. Let's do an analysis. What does this look like? Oh my gosh, y'all, what does this also look like? What does this risk profile look like? We showed you before. What does this look like?
Owning the stock.
Owning the stock. Wow. So we don't own 100 shares, right? But we control 100 shares by buying one leaps. By buying one leaps option out in the future. So if the price goes up, you make money, price goes down. Now, remember, what is the purpose of investing and trading? It's cost basis reduction. So if we have bought something out 434 days in time, then we probably need to sell something to pay for the option that we bought. So what would we do? Now, this is kind of cool, y'all. So, you know, we've been doing some things, y'all that have been putting on Rick trades and things of that nature. You've been doing things probably, 6 or 7 days out. But what if you went out and did something maybe every month to pay for that option? So you could actually do a covered call, a poor man's covered call. So instead of having to have $44,000 in your account, now you only have to have, $11,000 of capital to put on this trade. And then you could say every 30 days, I'm going to sell an option to reduce my cost basis. So what if we went out to, let's say this 42 day, right? 42 days, and we're going to sell a call like we normally would. So you could sell an at the money strike, or you could go and say, if you give a larger probability of success, you could go sell a 30 delta strike. Let's see, 30, yeah, about here, and bring in, how much money are we bringing in here? $500. So you're bringing in $500 to pay for an option that costs you $11,900. So what does this look like? This looks like this. Same thing with a covered call. So what you've done is you are limiting your profit to the upside, right? Limiting your profit to the upside. You still have, the loss to the downside, but you brought in $500, and this has a 70% probability of success, right? This particular call does. Let's take this off. Let's take this one off here. See if I can delete that leg. Yeah. This has I told you, 70% probability of success, a 93% probability that you'll make half of the total premium of $500. So 92% probability you make $250. So what you do is, what happens if the price goes up? Your overall trade makes, say it with me, profit, because you're basically long the stock by being long that leaps option. So you still make money. So then what would I do if the price of SPY were to go up to my strike? What would I do? I would roll this out for another 30 days and collect additional premium. So I would roll the 460, which is trading at 5, and I would roll it to, let's go out another 30 days from where the 42 days is. So we'll go to 72 days. So yeah, 72 days. What strike was it? The 460. And what could I get this 460 for? I could get it for $8.39. So let's say I had just sold that one and it got filled today. Well, I could get another $338 in premium by rolling it out here. Everybody see how cool that is? So, you know, you want to play with the covered call strategy, but you don't have enough money in your account. Well, you know, there are other ways to do it. So let's say, let's try Apple. Anyone got questions so far? It's kind of cool, isn't it? If you've never heard of this thing. Now you can do poor man's, or I don't want to upset the ladies out there, poor ladies covered puts as well. You can do this on the put side as well. So this is a bullish strategy. If you're bullish on something, then you can do a poor man's covered call. So let's do Apple. Okay. So you're an Apple trader. You go, man, Bob, I'd love to buy 100 shares of that. Man, that's going to take me $17,000. But I would like to participate in what I believe is a very good stock. And I don't necessarily believe that, but you're sitting there going, man, this thing is doing nothing but going up over the next year. Okay, well, let's go out and let's buy us a 343-day call, in the money call. I kind of like a 70 probability of being, I guess, out of the money. Let's say 70 delta options. So you go about, you know, right here, and you buy this one. How much is that going to cost you? That's going to cost you $4,785. Everybody see how much money that saves you? Well, how do you pay for that option? Now, okay, so now you don't have to sell options again. If you're just bullish on Apple and you don't want to buy 100 shares, but you want to control 100 shares, then you can always buy a call. Buy a call out in the future. You know, max loss is the profit that you, or the amount that you pay for the option. Your max profit is infinity. You know, if this thing goes up forever, you max profit just keeps on going up. Now, your delta is 82. If you had bought the stocks, what would your delta have been? Eric, what would your delta have been if you'd have bought 100 shares of stock?
Is it 18?
It would be 100. If you had bought 100 shares of Apple, right? Your delta would be 100. So you're almost controlling, you know, 100 shares of Apple, a little less. So this really means that you're kind of controlling theoretically 82 shares of Apple. So you bought this call. So now what do you do to pay for it? You know what to do. Let's go sell a call against it. So then you could go out and say, yeah, let's go to 42 days and let's sell a call. You can sell any call, right? You're still going to make money if the market goes up, but you know, I like doing it to where I just kind of like a 30 delta, 30% probability of money. So we sell the 180, right? Sell the 180. What does this curve look like? Looks like this. If it goes up, you still make money. Now, if you go down, you may lose money, but you're not losing as much as if you had bought 100 shares of Apple. So this looks scary to people, right? People are like, crap, dude, I'm losing money if it goes down. Well, what would you be losing if you own 100 shares? You'd be losing more than you would on this particular call, right? You'd be losing more with 100 shares of Apple. So don't let that scare you so much. If you're long on something, if you're long or bullish Apple, just go out in time, buy your call. How do you pay for that? Because that's cost us $4,785 every 30 days, or, you know, sell a call against your long call. What happens if the price of Apple comes up to hit 180? All I got to do is roll this baby, roll it out another 30 days. Why? Because I showed you, if the price of Apple gets up to here, what happens to the cost of calls farther out in the money? They go up. They go up. So you'll always be able, I'm gonna say always in quotes, be able to roll this out in time, potentially to a higher strike. So maybe you could roll it to the 185, or the 182 or 183, make it safer, and still collect a credit to help you reduce your cost basis on your loan call. This is called a poor man's covered call. And you do the exact same thing on the put side. Let me show you on the put side. So this is a bullish strategy, right? So let's say you're bearish on Apple. All right, how do you do that? Let's clear this. All right, but we're bearish on Apple. All right, let's do the exact opposite. Let's go out, and you could go anywhere, right? I'm just saying a leap's option is generally considered over a year. So, 343 is about a year. Let's go out here. Same thing. You're bearish on Apple, go out. I would do about a 70% probability of being in the money option. So you could buy this put, right? How much is that going to cost you? That's going to cost you $2,995. What does that look like on the curve? What does that look like on the curve? That looks like almost like owning the stock, or like being short the stock, right? You lose if it goes up, you make money if it goes down. It's a very bearish position. Cost you $2,995. What happens if Apple goes to zero? Well, you make $16,005 in profit. Okay, so here you go. You've got your little call that you've bought here. So let's go back to the table. So we bought that option. Now you want to sell it. You want to finance it. How do you want to finance it? Go something out about 35 days, and see these W's, that means weekly options. So these are monthly options. The monthly expirations have greater liquidity. So in something like Apple, you're going to find great liquidity here in the weeklies. Some stocks that you don't, but you're going to find the maximum liquidity in a monthly option. So I go to about 42 days. What we're going to do? Well, we're going to sell maybe about a 30% probability option to pay for that. So we're going to bring in $330 to help finance our $2,995 investment. So here we go. Let's go out, sell that, collect our $330. What does this look like? This is a poor man's covered put, where you've capped your loss to the downside, right? You have losses if the stock goes up. Of course, it's not defined. There it is. So you can see that it looked like it was a defined loss. It's undefined loss if it keeps if the stock keeps going up. Because everybody kind of got what this is. It gives you negative deltas, this entire trade, right? And it's a way to, to buy put and to be bearish on the stock, and to also reduce the basis of the put that we bought. Poor man's covered put. So hopefully when you start seeing all these strategies that you can put out, there's all kinds of things that you can do. Now, here's what the Wall Street Bets guys do, right? Let me show you what they do. So the Wall Street Bets guys, let me clear all this. Here's what they're doing. They're going, man, I know in the next 30 days, Apple's going up, baby, or next 42 days, it's going up. So they'll go in here and they'll go, man, what's this? What I'm going to do? I'm going to go out here and I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy an option for $275. I'm going to buy a call, baby. We're going to go past that at 180, and I can make $1 million if it keeps on going up. Here's what the risk curve looks like. Look at this. And I bought that. I can only lose the amount that I paid for the option, but if it goes up, if the option goes up, look, guys, if Apple goes to 216, I'm going to make $3,300. That's what the Wall Street Bets guys do. Here's the problem. If you buy options, you're 100% directional. You have to get movement and substantial movement, right? Look, you got to be above where where the current price is. You got to be above. You got to get movement to the upside. And what's your probability of profit? 25%. So the people on Wall Street Bets buy options, and they're idiots, because 75% of the time they're losing money. 75% of the time they're losing money, but 25% of the time they're going to hit a home run. And then they're going to come, showing their game porn on Wall Street Bets on Reddit. They're idiots. Don't buy options. don't buy options. It's a loser's game. It's a loser's bet. And if you do buy options, you need to sell options against it to finance it and to reduce your cost basis. Now, why do we sell options? Let's see this. So if you're bullish on Apple, okay, instead of buying the call, we would sell the put. All right? Why? Say it with me. We're defining our profit, right? We don't have unlimited profit, and we still have, virtually unlimited losses if Apple goes to zero, but still better than if you owned 100 shares of Apple, right? Because if you own 100 shares of Apple, where do you start losing money? Someone say it with me, right here. Right? That's what the risk graph looks like here. But if you sell options, look, I don't care if Apple goes up. I don't care if Apple stays where it is. And I don't care if Apple goes down. I just don't need it to go down too much. Aha! And that's why we sell options, people. We increase our probabilities of profit. We define our upside, we define our profits, but we increase our probability of profit. And when you buy options, you only make money if the stock moves in your direction and moves in your direction convincingly. When you sell option, you make money if it goes up, down, sideways. It just can't go too far against you. That's when you lose money. But even when you lose money, it's still better than owning 100 shares of the stock. So see, we've got a profit zone here where we make profit. Remember, if you own just the stock, let's do this. Let's take this out. Everybody remember what this looks like, all right? Let me take a snippet of it. Let's snip, snip, snip. My dog's got to get snip, snip, snip next week. He is not looking forward to it, I'm sure. If he only knew what was going to happen. Dr. Brent, you know all about that. So let's take a picture of that. Now let's go like let's clear this and let's pretend we're gonna buy 100 shares stock. Now here we are, 100 shares stock. Where do you start losing money on 100 shares stock? You start losing the day it goes down a penny. Right? And you start making unlimited amount. Now my dog's barking. If it goes up, let's bring our curve back here. Here's the price of the stock. Remember, you're going to start losing right here, right? If you don't stop. But look, you got a whole all the way down to the 156.25 before you start losing money. God, y'all see how powerful this is? God, is that powerful? And that's why I bring in options into this. See, you start losing the minute it goes down a penny if you own 100 shares. Not so here. All right, now you know about poor man's covered calls, poor man's covered puts. Poor man's covered call is a bullish strategy. However, you do limit your upside, but you're able to help finance the cost of the long put that you bought. And I'll give you an example. I have cooney pigs. All right, so cooney pigs are little pigs. They're cute as heck. And my cooney pigs cost anywhere, the four that I got, anywhere between $550 and $750. Okay, so that's, for me, that's an expensive pig. They're registered pigs. So I bought one boar for $750, and I bought three girls. I call them boys and girls. I bought three girls for $550 each, or $500 each. So my three girls are going to have 2 litters per year. That's what we're thinking about. And the average that they're going to have is about 8 to 12 piglets each, right? So let's say that I get 20 pigs per my 3 girls per year. That's 60 pigs. Everybody with me? So I spent $2,200 to $2,500 for all my pigs. Okay, so that's buying my option. But what am I going to do? I'm going to sell stuff that they produce in order to cut down my cost basis on the pigs that I bought. Does that make any sense? So that I'm selling stuff to finance the purchase or my initial investment into my pigs. It makes sense, doesn't it? So if you transfer that to options, you know, if you're going to go out in time and buy an option that you've got 484 days or whatever it is, that option is going to expire. That option theoretically will be worth zero at expiration. So in order to recoup those costs, we sell things against it. Questions at all about anything we've covered today? Is anybody's mind blown by this? Yeah, right, boom, right? I mean, it's cool stuff though. I mean, it's cool stuff how you can go into the options market and, you know, control an asset for a substantial less amount of investment. Now you got to keep in mind, it's not like holding. You can't hold your option, you know, forever because options have expirations. It puts time limits, you know, on which something must happen. It's really, really, really cool. Hey, have I played this music for you yet? Hold on a second. Let's play one song. Let me pause my recording.